boys and girls, it's Mrs. Paddock. For today's lesson, it's going to be all about Canada. And in your homework package, you'll have a booklet that looks something like this. And it actually says, My Book About Canada. Okay, so for this video, we're going to work through this booklet and we're going to fill in the gaps. There's a couple of blanks in there and we're going to fill those in. Now, if I'm going too fast for you, all you have to do is just pause your video, write in the words, and then you can color it and do all that afterwards, okay? So hope that helps, and hope you learn a few things about Canada. So again, you may want to get this booklet for this video and a pencil and an eraser in order to complete the blanks in this booklet, okay? I'm going to show you my booklet that I've already colored and I've completed, but I will be using the whiteboard to write the words that go in the blanks as well, okay? So I'm going to get started. So I'm going to put this one away and I'm going to use the one that I've colored already. I put mine in a duotang, but yours, again, you could put it in a duotang or you can leave it as it is. Now, as you can see on the title, so on the first page of your booklet, you're going to write your name. So I put, of course, Mrs. Paddock. Don't put Mrs. Paddock because it's your booklet, so put your name on there, right? And now, if we look at the title here, we'll see there's a bunch of different things here, different animals that we think of when we think of Canada. There's a polar bear, and of course a polar bear is going to be white. There's also a beaver, right? Beavers are usually brown. There's the Canada flag, so red on the sides, and the maple leaf is red as well. Now I colored Canada red, but you could choose whatever color you want. Down here there's hockey, there's a moose, usually it's brown, right? This here, of course, is an Inukshuk, and usually it's gray because it's made of rocks. There's a goose, a Canada goose, and then right at the bottom here there's this big building, and this is Canada's Parliament in Ottawa. So this is basically where the people who are in charge of making laws and things like that, they work here. So the Prime Minister, for example, goes here. And again, this is in Ottawa because that's our capital of Canada, okay? And so it's Canada's Parliament building in Ottawa. So again, put your name on the first page, and then you're going to turn the page. And then you're going to come to a page that looks like this. Now I'm going to read it first, and then I'm going to write the words here, okay? So it says here, Canada is the second largest country in the world. Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. My province is, we of course live in Manitoba. My city is Winnipeg. So that's the city that we live in as well. I know some people live just outside of the city, but most of us live in Winnipeg. Now if we look at the map down here, you can color it whatever you want. I chose to do different colors so that each province and territory stood out. Manitoba is this one right here. We also call it the Keystone Province because I don't know, I guess it looks like a key. Like
kind of.
For a key. I don't know. And so our neighbors to the, I guess here to the left of us, it's Ontario, and our neighbors to the right of us, it's Saskatchewan. But we live right here in this province called Manitoba. So now I'm going to fill in these words. So the first blank is going to be largest, okay? So I'm going to go over here.
Get your
Sharpie. And I'm going to write the word largest so you can see it, okay? So it's the first blank on this page is largest. So L-A, excuse me, R, oh, it's going to do that, is it? G, sorry about the squeaking, E-S-T. So that's the first blank. So Canada is the second largest country in the second blank is going to be world. So we're going to write the word world. W-O, oops, O-R-L-D. Okay, so the first blank is largest, second blank is world. Now we're going to move on to the next one. Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. Now you can write, just do the number 10, 1 and a 0, or you can write it, and if you write it, it's T-E-N.
This one's pretty easy.
Yeah, and 3 territories. So 3 is one of our sight words, T-H-R-E-E.
So you don't need to look at this one, but
You should know it, right?
yes.
All right, and then it says my province is Manitoba. Okay, so Manitoba, we're going to spell it here, M, capital M, because it's the name of our province, A-N-I-T-O-B A, Manitoba.
Sorry again for the squeaking.
It is. I'm going to try maybe the green one afterwards.
Yep.
My city is Winnipeg. So the last blank here is Winnipeg. So I'm going to put it right at the bottom here. Winnipeg. Get capital W.
Because it's a name.
It's a name. I-N-N-I-P-E-G. Okay, so Winnipeg. So hopefully you can see that. Okay? If you need to pause right now and just write these in the blanks, do it right now. Okay? Now, I'm going to move on to the next one. So the next page will have a Canada flag on it, okay? Do this green one instead. Maybe it'll be less squeaky.
Or maybe it's the whiteboard.
I don't know. Okay, I'm going to erase these. And
And
we're going to do the next page.
And make sure if you didn't get all of those, then just go back and pause the video.
That's right. Okay, so there we go. So now we're on this page here that has the Canada flag. And so when you color the Canada flag, again, remember red for the outside parts and then red for the maple leaf as well. And the white is inside. You don't have to color that because it's already white. And it says, this is the Canadian flag. The Canadian flag has a white background with red stripes on both sides. It has a red maple leaf in the middle. So I'm going to write the words down. So the first blank is going to be flag. So let's see if this is better. F-L-A-G.
That was better.
Sounds much quieter, right? Okay, so flag is the first blank. And then the Canadian flag has a white. So the second one is white. That's one of our sight words. W-H-I-T-E. White background with red, R-E-D, that's another sight word, R-E-D, stripes on both sides. And then the last blank is, it has a red maple, so maple is spelled M-A-P-L-E, maple leaf in the middle, okay? So again, if you have to pause the video right now, making sure the first blank is flag, second one is white, third one is red, and the fourth one is maple. Okay? So remember, pause it if you need to, fill in those blanks, and then we're going to move on to the next page, which looks like this. Okay? So let me erase this. Okay.
Because it's not as big.
Sorry, I'm going to adjust myself here. All right, next one. So this one just has the maple leaf here, and it also has a coin here. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And it says, this is a maple leaf. It is a symbol of Canada that is found on the Canadian flag. And then this bottom part here says, this is a nickel. It is a coin worth 5 cents. The animal on the nickel is called a beaver. The beaver is another symbol of Canada. Okay, so again, color the maple leaf red. The coin, the nickel, should be gray, because if you've ever seen a nickel, it's gray, right? Mm-hmm. So the first blank is going to be maple. So at the top here, this blank here, it's going to be maple. So M-A-P-L-E, maple.
This one doesn't squeak that much.
Squeak, I know, it's good. Then down here, this part here, there's 3 blanks. Nickel is the first one. N-I-C-K-L-E. Nickel. Oh, you know what? I spelled it wrong.
Did you?
Yep, I did. I think it's E-L. Nickel.
Well, you can ask your parents which one's right.
I think it's nickel, like that. All right.
I don't know.
And then it is a coin worth 5. So you could do the number 5, or you could write 5. F-I-V-E.
Is this one of your sight words?
It isn't, no, but they should know that word, 5.
Yes.
And then the last blank is beaver. So B-E-A-V-E-R, beaver. Okay, so you have 4 blanks there, and these are the words: maple, nickel, 5, and beaver. If you need to pause the video, do it now so you can write those words. Making sure, Frankie, that you're actually seeing that, right? Good?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to turn the page. Now we're coming on to more coins, and the page should look like this. Okay, I'm going to erase this for a second. We're going to do that. All right. Here we go.
Let's get to the next one.
So here it says, here are the Canadian coins. So this first one, this is called a toonie. Can you make sure that you're seeing it pretty good?
Yeah, you can see.
So this is called a toonie. It is worth $2. This is called a loonie, and it is worth $1. So the loon, you can see the bird on there, that's a loon, and it's called a loonie. So that's the loon.
You can see it there.
This is called a quarter, and it is worth 25 cents. So it's got a caribou on it. This is called a dime, and it is worth 10 cents. It's got a boat on it. It's called the Blue Nose. This is called a nickel, so we just talked about it, and it's worth 5 cents. This one with the beaver. When you color them, the toonie, if you have a toonie, you can look at it to see the colors, but the outside part is gray, and then the inside part is yellow with the polar bear. It's yellow. Now a loonie is all yellow. It's not gold, but it's all yellow. The quarter, the dime, and the nickel are all gray. Okay, so again, we're going to write down the words that we're going to put in there. Okay, so for the first one, it's called a toonie. So T-W-O-N-I-E, toonie. The second one, the one with the bird on it, the loonie, is L-O-O-N-I-E, loonie. The one with the caribou, it's called a quarter. It's a Q-U-A-R-T-E-R. The one with the boat is called a dime, D-I-M-E. And then, of course, the one with the beaver, we just talked about it, it's a nickel, N-I-C-K-E-L. And that's how you spell nickel, by the way. Yeah. So I was right when I corrected it. Okay, so again, if you have to pause your this video to write these words down, do it now. So toonie, loonie, quarter, dime, and nickel. Okay, we're now going to move on to this one. It says, "O Canada." Now this one, all you're going to do here is just color it. So again, the flag, you're going to color it the right way. So red for the borders, red for the maple leaf. The beaver is in here. He's going to be brown. His teeth are usually orange. They're kind of really like ugh looking.
Because he's always like chewing wood and
They
stuff.
are, and they don't go to dentists, do they?
Nope.
It would be kind of funny. The musical notes, you could do whatever. Now this is our national anthem, O Canada, and I'm just going to read it to you, but you know the national anthem. So it's our home and native land, true patriot of love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Now it has a little bit of information about O Canada, and it says, O Canada was first sung on June 24th, 1880, a long time ago, but it was not proclaimed Canada's national anthem until July 1st, 1980. So 100 years later, it was finally proclaimed the Canada's national anthem.
That's a cool fact.
It is. We're going to turn the page, excuse me, and we're going to look at these things here. And these are called totem poles. And totem poles are usually, well, they are made of wood. So I just colored them all brown, but oftentimes they actually do color them, paint them, but it is usually wood, and then they paint them. So you could paint it or color it however you want. Now we're going to start at the top here, and it says these are called totem poles. Totem poles are carved out of wood. They are made by Indigenous people. The animals and symbols of totem poles tell stories. So we're going to write down the words.
Oh,
I'm
got
going
it.
to erase this.
And actually, totem poles, they carve it out of the tree wood, and then they paint on like faces and
Yep.
stuff.
And it's got animals, and it's really quite
It's interesting.
interesting.
And in grade 5, you might get a chance to make some.
Yeah, you didn't get to make one this year, though. That's too bad. So the very first blank is going to be totem. So T-O-T-E-M, totem. Okay? And then, excuse me, the second one is Indigenous, and those are the first peoples here. So I, capital I, because that's their name, N-D-I-G-E-N-O-U-S, Indigenous. Okay, meaning the first peoples. All right, so those are the two blanks on that page. So totem and Indigenous. Okay, then you're going to turn. So again, if you need to pause the video, pause it now. Write those two in the blanks. And then we're going to turn the page. And we're going to look at the page that looks like this. So this one, you can see, has somebody important here, and we call them either RCMP, Mountie, or the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And sometimes you'll see them on a horse. Usually their outfit, their uniform, is red, usually black pants with a yellow stripe. They usually wear a brown hat like that. And so that's the uniform of the Mountie. They also have other uniforms as well, but this is the one that's the most recognized, okay? Now, they are police, basically, for Canada. So when you color the flag here too, make sure, again, red, and then red for the maple leaf. All right, so we're going to fill in the blanks here, and it says RCMP stands for Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Sometimes members of the RCMP are called Mounties. Mounties help keep us safe. So I'm going to write these words down. So the first blank is going to be Royal, and it's capital letters for these, okay? So R, Royal.
Because it's like a name.
Yeah, and then right next to it is Canadian. So Royal Canadian. I'm going to put it here. So Royal Canadian, and then underneath, two more blanks, Mounted, capital M, Mounted, and then there's another blank, Police. Okay, so if you look at the first letter of those words, RCMP. So that's how they get RCMP. So RCMP stands for Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Now there's one more blank there, and it's the word Mounties. And so we're going to write it. It's lowercase m, U-O-U-N-T-I-E-S, Mounties. Okay? So again, if you need to pause it so that you can fill in those blanks now. And then turn the page. Almost done. I'll erase these.
Just a couple more pages.
Yep.
And after this, make sure you color them all in.
Yes, that's right. So it'll take you a little while to get through it. Now, you're going to turn to the page that looks like this, and it says, Happy Canada Day. Okay? Now, you can color it whatever you want, except remember the flags to use the right color. So basically red on the flags. Canada's birthday is called Canada Day, and it is celebrated on July 1st. Canada became a country in 1867. On Canada Day in this year, Canada will become however many years old. So we're going to fill in those blanks. So the first blank is July. So we're going to write, so the first blank is this one. So July, capital J, because it's a month, July. And then the second blank here is first, 1. And you put the st like that. So put the number 1 here, and then ST and a line under it for July 1st. Okay? And then for the bottom one here, we're going to figure that out. So it's going to be 153 years old. So in 2020 is the next blank. 2020, so that's the blank here, Canada will become 153 years old. Okay? That's how we figure that out. Because you take the year you're in, 2020, and you subtract the year it became a country, which was 1867. Now this is advanced math, more than you guys would be doing, and you got to figure this out. So we can't take away from a 0, so you got to go here to carry. Now it becomes 10. 10 take away 7.
3.
3. Now 1, you can't do it, so you got to go here. You can't do a 0, so you got to go here to a 1. This becomes a 9. This is now an 11. What's the number, Frankie? 11 take away 6 is 5.
5, yeah.
Now here 9 take away 8 is
1.
1 take away 1 is
0.
But you don't need it a 0. So that's how you figured it out. 153 years old.
And you guys won't be doing it in this year.
No, but that's how I figured out how old it is, right? So you take the year that we are in now, and you take away from the year that it became a country. So 2020, take away 1867 when it became a country, and then we figure out it's 153 years old. Okay? So fill in those blanks. So July 1st, 2000, and 153. If you need to pause it now, do that, and then we're going to do the next page.
You don't have to write the math though.
No, you don't have to do the math, that's right. Now the next page, there's no writing on there, but you're going to be coloring it. Now you have to follow the instructions here. This is Manitoba page, and this is our Manitoba flag, because every province and every territory has its own flag. So of course we have the Canada flag, but each province and territory has its own flag as well. And this is the Manitoba one. It's our provincial flag, okay? Follow the directions here. So it says provincial flag 1. So wherever there's 1, you're going to color it yellow. Wherever it's 2, it's going to be red. Wherever it's 3, it's tan. Tan is just brown. 4 is going to be blue. 5 is blue-gray. Just use blue. That's fine. Excuse me. And then wherever it's 6, you're going to write, 6, you're going to do green. And then all else is going to be white. So there's a couple of places where there's no numbers, and you're just going to leave it white. Okay? So you're going to color that in as best you can. Now our provincial flower is the prairie crocus, and we actually see the prairie crocus now during the spring. So you may actually even have it in your own backyard, the crocus. Here is what our the map of Manitoba looks like. We've seen that before. The capital city of Manitoba, of course, is Winnipeg, the city that we do live in. Our provincial bird is this great gray owl. So when you color the great gray owl, of course, it's going to be gray, right? His nose is usually, the beak is usually yellow, and his talons can be black or brown.
Is that his tail? I think you forgot it.
I think I did. You're right there. Thanks for pointing that out, Frankie. All right, and so then that is the end of our booklet. So once you're finished filling in all the blanks and stuff like that, do go back and color it in. And then if you want to put it into a nice little duotang or something like that, go ahead. It's a nice little booklet to have to remember, to remember kindergarten, but also to remember some facts about Canada. I know it was a long video, and I hope you did pause in between so that you could write in the blanks. I hope you have a great rest of the day. I love you, and I miss you all. Bye-bye.